Hey guys, welcome back to Maxim Automation. Today in this video, we're going to talk about the parallel execution of feature files or test. Also, we'll see that how to capture the screen in case of any failure. So if we talk about that, what are the benefits of parallel execution? Then first of all, let's assume that if we have 100 feature files and each feature file takes 1 minute to execute. Now, if we run our test, it will take around 100 minutes to complete. So to save the execution time, we can configure the project to run the feature files parallelly. Let's say if we run 4 feature files parallelly, then our execution time will be 25 minutes only. The number of feature files we increase to run as parallel, then our test will take less number of execution time. It also helps in cross-browser testing. If we can configure our project to run same test cases on different browsers simultaneously, then it will really save a lot of time. So to start with, we'll go back to our project. Before configuring the project for parallel execution, we'll write the code to capture the screen in case of any failure. So to do that, we need WebDriver object. With the help of WebDriver object, we'll get the screenshot of the browser. Now to start with, first of all, we'll update our WebDriver object as public static so that I can use this object in other classes as well without initializing the step definition class. Now I'll go back to hooks.cs class to create a method to capture the screenshot. Now I'm creating a method called public string get screenshot. This method will capture the screenshot and will return the string, which will contain the base64 string of the image. So to capture the screenshot, we'll use the existing interface iTakes screenshot. We'll cast the WebDriver object to iTakes screenshot. There is method defined under this interface called get screenshot. So we'll use the same method to capture the screen. And to use it, you can type iTakes screenshot step definition dot WebDriver dot get screenshot dot as base64 encoded string. So I have used the property as base64 encoded string to get the screenshot as base64 string. And the same we will add into the extend report step. Now we'll call this method whenever our test step gets failed. So I'm going to create a string over here, which will hold the returned base64 value from the function. Then to send this image detail to the extend report, we'll add another parameter in log method, which is basically takes the media details which we want to display in reports. So I'll type media entity builder, and then we'll select the method called create screen capture from base64 string. And then we'll provide the captured base64 string to the method. After that, we'll type .build method. So this will build the image based on the string which we have provided. And the same will be displayed in extend report. Here is one thing which I would like to highlight is that whenever our test step gets failed, then the remaining steps will get skipped, which will basically result into the n number of open Chrome driver instances. So what we'll do is we'll write a code over here which will quit the Chrome driver instance the moment test steps get failed. So to do that, I'll write step definition dot WebDriver dot quit. This will close the Chrome driver instance. So now whenever there is a failure, we'll get the screenshot as well in our test report. You can also push the screenshot to the test step, which are passed. But this will basically cause the HTML report to become heavy. So I have just captured the screenshot in case of failures only. Now we'll see that how can we run our feature files parallelly. So to run it, we need another feature file. So I'm going to add a new feature file and we'll name it as mysecondfeature.feature. I'll copy the same steps in this file as well. The only change which I'll do is rename feature and scenario. And then I'll change the amount value which we need to compare, because I intentionally want this feature file to get fail. So now we have two feature files to run parallelly, out of which one should pass and another should fail. Now in NUnit framework, by default, our test will run in sequential mode. And to run our test on parallel mode, we need to create a class called assembly.cs. Delete the existing code and now type using NUnit.framework. In this class, we'll use the NUnit assembly level attribute to run our test simultaneously. So to do that, we'll type assembly : parallelizable parallel scope dot fixtures. And then we'll define the number of feature files we want to run parallel by using assembly : level of parallelism. I have configured 2 right now because I have only 2 feature files. You can configure based on your feature files like 5, 7, or 10. So basically, based upon your configuration, same number of threads will be generated to run feature files parallelly. So this is how we need to configure our project to run feature files in parallel. Now I'll go back to the hooks.cs class. You can see that we have used static variable for extent and feature. So what will happen basically, when we'll run our execution, then these static variables will be shared among the multiple threads, which will basically affect the execution abruptly. So to avoid that, we'll make this variable to be as thread safe. And to do that, I'm going to use the attribute called thread static. This attribute helps the value of the static field to be unique for each field. So I'm going to do it for feature variable only. Now, similarly, we need to do it for WebDriver as well. So I'll go back to the step definition class, and then I'll add the keyword called thread static. So it will be a different WebDriver object for different thread. Means each feature file will have their own WebDriver object. Otherwise, if you won't use this attribute, then all feature files will be running on a same object. Now we are done with all configuration required for parallel execution. So it's time to run the feature files. I'll run both the feature files parallelly. And to execute them, I'll select Selenium and Unit, and then we'll click on Run. So you can see that both feature files have been started executing. And we got 2 instances open for Chrome browser, on which both the feature files are running in parallel. So as we already discussed, that we intentionally wanted to fail one feature file. So once the execution completes, we should get one feature file as pass and other as fail. Now you can see that execution has been completed and we got one file as fail and another as pass. Now we'll open the extent report. So here you can see that we have 2 features executed. Out of that, one is fail and another one is pass. If we select the failed test, then we'll get the failed step detail under the scenario called Amazon test fail. Here we can see that verification of price has been failed and the screenshot has been captured for the failed step. If you click on the base64 image, then we'll get the snapshot of the captured screen. And we can verify what was the actual price at the time of failure. And if we go to the feature file, which is pass, then we can see that all steps has been passed. Since we configured the project to capture the screen in case of failure only, so that's why we got the screenshot only for this step. Now, if we go to the dashboard, then we can see that we have executed 2 tests, out of which one is fail and another one is pass. So guys, that's it for today. If you like the video, then please hit on the like button. Also, please subscribe to the channel to get more videos. Thank you.